How's it going, guys? So I got a hold of this thing. Look how big this thing is. Yes, it's the size of my head. So I got a new lens. I've been wanting this lens for a while, probably for like a year. It's the Sigma 70-200 f2.8 that came out 2023 by now, I think, like end of 2023. I never had a lens with that much magnification or zoom, and I wanted one, and I sort of don't regret buying it. We are going to try and salvage some pretty bad pictures. The story behind these pictures is I haven't shot with anything over 85mm in a decade, and that was also like a kit zoom lens. This is just something different, completely different animal. With the pictures, the thing that I found, or with the photo shoot, the thing that I found the hardest was definitely framing, getting things framed right and using the telephoto aspect of the lens properly. I just wasn't used to it, and so I just had to go out and try things and see if I can get something right. Alrighty, let's get started. These pictures are going to be horrible, let's face it. Starting with this very underexposed picture we can see here. Like, most of the picture is in the blacks. Definitely don't want that. Do we even bother looking at this picture? Like, that's terrible. Let's probably skip these two. These are exposed a little better. The headlights are completely washed out. The framing is a little better as well. The car is out of focus, but the sign is in focus. This was shot at 70mm. No presets here. We're just gonna come up with a style. I've really been liking the warm colors. Let's give it a shot. I'm not really gonna play with the white balance. White balance seems fine here. But I just do this real quick to see, is there hope with a color grade that leans into those departments. Love playing with the sliders. I can already tell you I like high contrast up here in this sign, but I might not necessarily like that in other parts of the image because it looks gross. I might use a radial filter up here later. What else we got? Whites. I don't know if it's whites or highlights, but we probably want to play around with some of that. At least get rid of some of this washed out highlights down there. Shadows seem to be fine. I'd rather get rid of stuff like that, to be honest, too. Hit it with the eraser. See if it does a good job. We got AI eraser now, so I honestly think that's passable. Tone curve. Let's try like our basic. Usually I just put the points down. And then our highlights will instantly clip. Just leave them as they are. Let's reset our points. 1, 2, 3. This is the highlight side, so you can see here when I add colors. Oh, a little bit of red. Doesn't seem to be bad. And then usually some cayennes down here. Yeah, so you can grade through this. You can also grade through this. This gives you a bit more control because you're sort of controlling the RGB channel for, I guess, different exposures of the image or different green, magenta. Don't think we want any of, maybe a little bit of green actually. I think we're starting to go with a filmic look here. I'll tell you why filmic look, because honestly, film is known for imperfection, and if you have something that's, I hate to say it, but not well shot, you can definitely go for the filmic look. Try to salvage the image. Color mixer, I don't even know if I want to use this anywhere. Maybe the calibration to play around with the colors a little bit. Yeah, see, I like that a lot actually. The saturation here actually messes around with the luminance of the colors. We don't want to go crazy with the reds. Try to make that red look nice. All right, we have something. Before, after, before, after. Let's see if we can use some filters to really improve the way this looks. Then I'll press O on my keyboard to hide it. But we sort of want to do this just to, this is pretty bright. We want to accentuate the car. We already turned the headlights down a little bit, give the car a little more presence. Up here, I did want to do something. I don't know if I still want to do it. Maybe I am deep frying the image a little bit, but it's a little too sharp. I don't know if sharp is the right word, but we did something there. Maybe add shadows or contrast, and I think that's about it. All right, let's go with that. With our terrible shell sign. So what I'm gonna end up doing here is going into effects and then just adding some grain. Is there anything else we can do? Maybe a crop. Oh, there's a huge gap here between the top of that sign and the car. There's one thing I want to do here is actually make this a little more filmic. It still looks digital, and a lot of that has to do with the colors, and what I'll end up doing here is probably just getting rid of some of this stuff. I'll bring in more color back in using the color mixer, because I want to selectively bring color back in, either the color mixer or the color grading. So we can try both actually. I'll just go in a circle here, see what I like. The highlights usually has the least effect on the image, especially an image like this. Like we look at the histogram, we know the highlights, there's not a lot of highlight here. And I think the midtones play around this area. Could be wrong, by the way, but that's what I think. And then the shadows are back here. Then you'll see, because this is underexposed, shadows will have a big impact on the image as well. So for shadows and midtones, we'll do something very minor. I like green for film. Don't ask why. I have no clue. I just like green. I think green is like antique film. I don't know. Could be nonsense. I have no clue. And then I'm going to go something neutral for the mid-tone. Maybe for the highlights, we go something more warm, actually. And that'll add some oranges back into these signs, which we desaturated. Let's see the before and after here. First time with the lens, guys. You know, as someone who practices photography, you go out there and you shoot, and sometimes the stuff that you shoot is just bad. It's just bad. Doesn't matter how long you've been in the game. You get magic, you also get terrible stuff. That's why you gotta practice. The more you practice, the less likely it is you will shoot bad stuff, and the more likely it is that you'll be able to salvage the bad stuff that you shoot. So we went from this to this. I don't know, maybe there's more I can do. I think this is fine. Does it look very filmy? No. Should I add a vignette? Yes. Some people add vignette through this. What I like to do, I like to add a selective vignette. A couple of more of these, something like this. And you'll notice these vignettes, they're not really straight. Like when I add them with the linear gradient filter, I think that adds a little more character to the picture, and it helps accentuate things a little better. Vignettes, they're typically like artifacts from the lens, how the light hits the lens, and in reality, a lot of times they are circular, but a lot of times they're not. It all depends on the lighting environment around you. Yeah, sometimes you just get creative with it, make your own vignette. You have to be creative in post. Yeah. Am I happy with this? Yeah. Something. I just want to see if I can, I don't even know, like I don't have a reference. If this should be more orange, or do I just add saturation? What do I do here? Okay, a little bit of saturation helps. I am very okay with this. Now we can grab this and go crazy here. Do something like this. What AI change did I have? I had the patch, it's not even here. Let's reset the crop. This is lazy editing, by the way. Reset the crop, do something like that. Like it's okay. Oh, by the way, they added this feature a while ago. I've never used it before. But you can add blur in post now. Interesting. Let's see if it does something useful. It takes forever for whatever reason. And I already have quite a bit of blur. Interesting. It takes forever to apply. Does it look better? I don't really know what's happened. You can change the bokeh balls. The bokeh balls. Bokeh balls. Bokeh balls is actually a really interesting term. Bokeh balls. Yeah. Doesn't matter, it's not gonna save the picture. Notice like these are all underexposed. put like something like exposing the shots, maybe I should have picked up on right away. I think I was really busy trying to find the right angle, and I've obviously failed here. I just didn't know how to use the lens. It was pretty hard. Actually, maybe this thing, I want to get rid of that metro sign, but we're gonna do this differently and get rid of the transform crop, remove copy, and we're gonna go put that on. So I'm actually gonna send these to my friend. He may or may not like them. Well, I don't know. Maybe he'll like them. I think it looks fine. I don't mind it. Yeah, I don't mind it. I really don't. And that's it, guys. You make one edit, and if it's sort of good, you take it, you slap it on all the other images, you send it out. They're all shot around the same time, similar setting. And I think I mentioned earlier in the video that I was gonna go warm. I indeed did not go warm. Let's see if I can. Let's make a digital copy, straight virtual copy. A lot of times you'll see people abuse clarity texture dehaze because it does add this presence. Like, it's very easy to abuse this, but it also sort of deep fries your picture. Like these sliders, these two sliders, 99.9% of the time, they should not go over 40. They really shouldn't. Anything over here is like, you're cooked. There's no other way to put it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna add a little bit. So we already have the grain for texture. We take out some of the grain in the picture, make it look a little softer. It's a little more filmic. We go color grade. We will investigate the color grade. Now, I said I wanted warm pictures. Warm at night is a little weird. All of our lights are white lights now. So what I will try to do is this. And then go tone curves. I just want to review these curves. I've added a little bit of warmth here. And I've added a little bit of warmth here. Green is fine, I think. We can go magenta. That looks bad. I prefer the green. So I'm just going to undo that. This is giving like, what's it called? Sepia? Whatever that's called. I don't remember. Sepia? Okay, we can do better. We can do better. We have blues in the shadows here. I can crack those to reds, but reds are really iffy when it comes to warmth. We do think of red as a warm color, but at the same time, it's a very, very hot color. So you got to be careful. It can destroy your image very quickly. Yeah, I actually really don't mind that. We'll go back to the color grading. We'll see if we can do anything with the midtones to play into a more neutral, and then maybe make the highlights a little more present. So tilt that way. No, that doesn't look good. Shift the balance, and that looks much better. That looks much better. That looks like warm film. I think the grade is fine. I want to see where this ended up going, and then we're just going to go ahead and move that over. Lift that up a little bit more. And then we're going to do the same thing here. When you're copying edits from one picture to another, make sure to review your masks, especially if you copy your masks. I do want that like sort of aura around the car. I want a radial gradient. I'm going to go here. Don't laugh at this. Do not laugh at this. Do not laugh at this. Don't ask me why I did that. Don't ask me. I got an itch. I wanted to do it. And I think it looks good. These are good. I'm happy with these. Yeah, I'm happy with these. I can't lie. What else we got? This is bad. These are headlights, guys. These are headlights. I don't even know what I was doing here. I'm not gonna lie. Like, bro, where's the picture? Where is the picture? Okay, I've sort of cheated. I've done something here. Here, I started getting a little more creative. We shifted to another location, and I thought, why don't I do some drag photography? Like, not drag queens and stuff, but I guess dragging your shutter. I think that's what the term is. I could be wrong. Just quickly looking at these, I can tell you I'm not a big fan. And the picture is very shaky. And that is probably because we shot this at 0.5 seconds handheld. Yeah, learning to use a new lens. It's a very interesting thing to go through. The 7200, it's extremely versatile for car photography for sure, and like a lot of different photography as well. There's people who use the 105, 135, both of those. I think 135 mil is a lens, but at like 1.8 or 1.4 or something like that. Yeah, it's hard. You gotta practice. The one thing about photography and videography, or actually the one thing about any hobby that you want to do really, really good, you just have to practice. If you don't practice, you just don't get better. If you're gonna spend like a lot of money on something, make sure you use it, and not a little bit. Make sure you use the out of it. I spent $2,000 on that lens. $2,000 on a lens. Like, I gotta know how to use that lens. Otherwise, I'm gonna be really mad at myself. Ultimately, guys, I'm very happy with what we managed to achieve here. Like, these are really solid. Yeah, actually, what I'm gonna try to do here very quickly, because I sort of like this warm edit, is make these warm. And there's actually another thing that I forgot to do. So we'll just copy this, go here, develop, paste. All right, and then the one thing that I wanted to do is try this. Oh, whoops, can't do it. What I was gonna try to do is change this metro sign into something else in maybe another language. I don't know if I have to fix my Lightroom though, or Photoshop or something. Something's not working, so sometimes it's not meant to be. Just because you have a bad photo shoot or you get bad pictures, I don't think that rules out your ability to work with those pictures. Sometimes you just have to go extra hard in post and really think outside the box. These things happen out in the field. You go through conditions that you can't control, and photography and videography, a lot of things are outside of your control unless you're doing a studio session. If you're not doing a studio session, it's very likely that you just have to do things to accommodate for the environment around you, whether that's lighting or subjects moving or bad angles, things being designed awkwardly. You're just a spectator in that place. And so keep shooting and edit those pictures, even if they suck. If it's client work, you have to go the extra mile unless you can book those people for a reshoot. Booking people for a reshoot can be very annoying, especially if there's stuff that's being rented, if there are expenses that are like one-time expenses, so now you have to do them again. So just be wary about those things. You know, I got the opportunity to practice on this lens before having professional work with it, which is great. If I had taken this lens out as a first time to do professional work, I wouldn't have had a good time. I'll tell you that much. I would have had a tough time doing that. You never really want to be using gear for the first time on a professional gig. That's just my opinion. Some people will do it. You'll see those memes on Instagram where it's like, I'm just listening to music, goes on YouTube, looks up how to do this. You do not want to be in that position at all. You want to be on set or at your gig, and you want to be like chop, you know everything. If you run into problems, you know how to fix them, and that's the rant. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. If you like this video, leave a sub, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the pictures, which edit you like more, the warm or the cold, and let me know what you'd like to see for other videos. If you have any good ideas, leave them down there. I will see you on the next YouTube video.